All right, let's jump right in. I want you to picture something with me. The year is 2026, and the world looks different. That clear, solid line we always thought existed between human beings and machines, well, it's not just blurry anymore. It's dissolving right before our eyes. We're standing at the dawn of a completely new era, one that's going to be defined by flesh and silicon coming together.
Just think about that for a second. Look at your own hands right now. That's not some sci-fi movie tagline. That is the actual vision driving this entire field. The goal isn't just to make a robot hand that can grip something anymore. No, the new benchmark, the thing all the top labs are chasing, is creating a synthetic hand that has the subtlety, the sensitivity, even the warmth of our own.
And this slide, wow, it really puts the whole journey into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look at that leap. We started back in the 1950s with these huge, cold, clumsy industrial arms, machines you literally had to keep locked in a cage while they did one single thing over and over. And now, the goal for 2026, warm humanoid hands. The story of how we got from point A to point B, well, that's what we're about to unpack.
So first up, we're going to explore this incredible 2026 humanoid and what this convergence of flesh and silicon really looks like.
And then we'll break it all down. We're going to deconstruct these machines into their two fundamental parts, the silicon body and the AI mind.
Okay, let's talk hardware, because the evolution here is just staggering. We've basically thrown out the entire old playbook. Forget about those noisy, heavy hydraulic motors and whining gears. That's ancient history. What we're talking about now are things like sleek carbon fiber skeletons and synthetic muscle actuators. And these things are silent, they're powerful, and they actually contract like real muscle. It's not just a better machine, it's a completely different kind of being.
And just try to wrap your head around what this means. You've got a body that is lighter than our own bones, but 10 times stronger. And here's the kicker. It's sensitive. It knows the difference between a gentle handshake and a hammer strike. This changes everything, right? These robots aren't just for welding cars on an assembly line anymore. Thanks to this haptic skin tech, they're designed to work right alongside us, in our homes, in our hospitals, safely and with incredible precision.
But of course, a super advanced body is kind of useless without a brain to match, right? And this might be the biggest leap of all. Just a couple of years back, we were all blown away by large language models, LLMs, the AIs that could chat with us. Well, the game has moved on. We're now in the era of ALAMs, or large action models, and the difference is huge. These AIs don't just talk about the world, they actually understand it. They do things in it.
So what does that mean in the real world? It's like this. You can tell a lamb to clean the kitchen. It's not going to spit back a definition. It's going to scan the room, see the dirty dishes, figure out the best way to get to the sink, and just do it. But it gets even crazier. They're building these with what they call emotional intelligence engines. They can actually read the tiny little microexpressions on your face and figure out if you're happy or stressed or even scared. And they'll change what they're doing based on that. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, but it also opens up a whole new can of worms.
Which, of course, brings us to our next big topic, the ghost in the machine. Because when you have machines this smart, operating this closely with us, you need a whole new set of rules for this new reality.
And it all boils down to this one central question. Who's responsible when one of these things makes a mistake? Seriously, think about it. If a robotic surgical assistant makes a bad call during an operation, who takes the blame? The surgeon who's supervising? The company that built it? Or the AI itself?
And as you can imagine, society is scrambling for answers. New liability laws are being written as we speak. There are massive debates happening right now about the sentience question, like what legal status do these things even have? To try and get a handle on it, there are new rules, like a mandatory black box in every unit that records every decision it makes. And of course, there's a huge push to prevent neural hacking, which sounds like sci-fi, but it's the very real threat of someone tampering with the AI's core programming. It is a total legal and ethical minefield.
It's not just a legal problem, though. It's a psychological one, too. You know that creepy feeling you get when something looks almost human but not quite? That's the uncanny valley. And we've learned the hard way that trying to make these things perfectly human-like just weirds people out. So designers have totally shifted gears. The goal isn't hyper-realism anymore. It's about creating trustworthy faces, designs that make us feel comfortable and safe, not unsettled.
So finally, where's all this heading? Let's look ahead at the roadmap to 2030 and our cybernetic future.
And here's where the story takes a really wild turn. The technology is starting to flow the other way. The advanced prosthetics and cybernetics we built for these robots,
They're now so good that people are starting to use them to augment their own bodies. We're literally seeing a merger of human and machine in a way that was pure fiction just a decade ago.
And if you look even further out, the sky is literally not the limit. The plan is for the next generation of these humanoids, machines that can even build copies of themselves, to be the pioneers. They'll be our proxies, the ones who go and build our first colonies on Mars, getting everything ready for us to follow. It's an absolutely massive vision for the future.
And all of it leads us to one final massive question. A question we really have to start asking ourselves as we keep making these machines stronger, faster, and in some ways, smarter than we are. Are we building our ultimate partners to help us reach the stars? Or are we building our replacements? The answer to that is probably going to define our entire century.